Here we have a word problem that's going to test our ability to understand intercepts in a real-life scenario. We have this problem statement. The numbers of daily newspapers Y in a certain country from 1996 through 2009 can be approximated by the model, and we have the equation where T represents the year with T equals 0 corresponding to the year 2000. So part A says graphically estimate the y-intercept of the graph. So recall the y-intercept is where we cross this y-axis here. So it's about right there. So it's a little bit more than 1400. Let's say, and notice the next line up is 1425. So we'll say 1405. So remember, for a y-intercept, the x coordinate in this case, x is not x, it's actually t. So t is 0, and I'm going to say 1406, and it's just a guess, okay? Because we can't be exact. That's part of the problem with a graph, right? You can only be as exact as a guess. Now we're going to find the y-intercept of the graph algebraically. So recall, to do that, we set t equals to 0, and we have this equation. So we take negative 9.87t plus 1402.6. Alright, so when t is 0, this term goes away, right? 0 times negative 9.87 is 0, so we find our y-intercept is 1402.6. So we write 1402.6. Alright, so you see, that's something we're going to study later. That number in a slope-intercept form of the equation, that number right there is the y-intercept. Now we're going to do part C. We're going to finish the rest of part B. So the rest of part B says interpret the y-intercept of the graph. So the interpretation is there were about how many daily newspapers? 1,402.6 in a certain country in the year. And so the year is not 0. We need to actually use the year that corresponds to 0. So t equals 0 corresponds to 2000. So that's the literal interpretation of this y-intercept for this question. Part C says use the model to predict the year in which the number of daily newspapers will be 1,285. So they're telling us the newspapers, and newspapers is this variable y. So we put 1,285 in for y, and we're going to solve for the time. So this is a pretty simple substitution here, and we'll do this algebra here. And so we get on the right hand side negative 9.87t, and on the left hand side, we do negative 117.6. And now we divide both sides by negative 9.87. And we'll get t is 11.91. So we'll call that, since it's talking about whole number years, it does say round your answer to the nearest whole number. We'll call it 12. Now, t is the number of years since 2000, right? So don't write 12 in here. We add 12 to the year 2000, and we get 2012 is the answer they expect. All right, so just be careful recognizing that t does mean time since the year 2000.